are nerdy. And I love it. Y'all are a bunch of nerds. Here's why I know that. A couple reasons. Number one, my most engaged tweet in the last, I don't know how long, just really so many fucking thousands of people responding to it, over 1,000 quote tweets on it, just everybody fucking replying. Is I just tweeted out asking what was the most rewatchable comic book movie, and all my followers were like, yeah, I fucking know the answer to this one. It's like, I love you guys. The rock stars are amazing. The world friends are amazing. You guys are amazing. Also, I saw Eternals, and that's nerdy as shit too. So I can't wait to talk about that. So today we're going to review Eternals. We're going to talk about it. Of course, it's going to be spoiler free. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different nerd shit. Dune Part 2. Who would have thunk Dune would get a sequel? Also, Brendan Fraser as Firefly in Batgirl. I want to talk a little bit about that. The Trench movie that was canceled apparently was Black Manta movie, so we can discuss that. And then something not as nerdy, but just so fucking gross that I found out while Darina texted it to me, and I was doing SEN Live, but for those of you guys who don't watch that show, it was a girl who was posing. I'll tell you guys when we get there. But that's an L for the internet today, a big fat L. And of course, you guys chime in, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. That's a lot to go over, not that much time to do it. We are currently only a couple minutes into the show, and I have a hard out today because I am running a meeting. That meeting is at 2:30, so at 2:25, I have to biz out. So we're only here for a half an hour. And like I said, that's a ton to cover. So get in your questions, your comments, your concerns, your thoughts, deepest, darkest hopes and dreams in the Streamlabs and in the super chat early, because I won't have time later. If you guys have questions about Eternals, which again, I saw last night, I can't give spoilers, but I will answer your questions as much as I can without doing any spoilers. I don't want to be tweeted about that I spoiled anything and then have people say that I should be charged $1 million for the spoiler. So I just won't do it. Starting the Streamlabs today on October 26th, coming in through the first Streamlabs came from Glenn Caesar, who said, may you breathe in more golden sparkles of love as you inhale. Wow, you can hear the, what's up there? Not good. And blow out the stress when yucky energy, whenever, wherever you need to in each of your days, your weeks, months, even your years. And remember, we're all still alive, so be you a sparkling diamond. Is it snot? What is it? We just don't know. A lot going on today. All right. I'm going to start with, I'll get to Eternals momentarily, but let's start with some of the other things going on. Just tap in. Brendan Fraser, Firefly, and Batgirl. Love Brendan Fraser. Want to see him in everything. Think it's interesting that he's already in Doom Patrol. Obviously, it's mostly vocally that he's in Doom Patrol as he plays a robot. But we do have flashbacks where we see him. I liked seeing Firefly on Gotham. They're obviously going to go with a very different version of Firefly here because that was a teenage girl. Brendan Fraser is not that. In different iterations, Firefly has been a disgruntled firefighter or a pyrotechnics operator. I think that probably they're going to go with the firefighter route here because Brendan Fraser looks like he could have been a firefighter. Could be a firefighter, but this is an ex-firefighter. He likes fire. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I like Leslie Grace a lot. I like this casting so far. Did we hear that J.K. Simmons is going to be in this? Did I make that shit up? I thought that I heard that. Do you have a cold or allergies? Roxy says, Manny, I definitely don't have a cold. I don't know if I have allergies. Sometimes I feel itchy. You guys know I break out in those bumps all over my body. So like some kind of hive. So I think I do have some allergies, but I don't know to what. But in general, maybe it's just that I haven't been drinking my tea yet. Well, although I had tea this morning, maybe you just got to clear the sinuses. Clear them. Clear the sinuses. Glenn says I skipped his hello. But, I did. I didn't see this. Hello. And a good day. I was like, he just dove right in there. And a good day to Roxy. And thanks for hanging out with us today. How are you? I'm fine. Thanks, Glenn. Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you, your dad, Sky, Jack, Grammy, Papa, and your family. Be most excellent to yourselves and each other, Roxy and Rockstars, because you deserve it. Thanks, Glenn. Sorry that I skipped that the first time. I don't know what happened. Sometimes shit just runs together. So those are my thoughts on Brendan Fraser as Firefly and Batgirl in general. There's a lot of Bat People properties happening, y'all. We've got the Batwoman stuff, and we have had 2 Batwomen in the last couple of years, and then there's Batwoman controversy. Then we've got Batman. We've got a Batman on Titans. We've got Ben Affleck Batman. We've got Batman on Batflick, Robert Pattinson's Batman. Now we've got Batgirl. So there's just the Bat People are coming to the table, and it's a lot of Bat People, and I like the Bat People. So I'm in on this. How do you guys feel? Let me know. Streamhouse.com/Roxy Strider as we talk a little more DC, talking about the trench. We found out a little bit ago that the trench was canceled. It was cut. None of us really seemed to care that much because we were like, we liked Aquaman, we liked James Wan, but what was this trench movie anyway? It was kind of a weird announcement when they first announced it after Aquaman came out, before we even knew when Aquaman 2 was going to be. It was like the trench, and we were like, the what now? The who? That's the part of the movie that's getting a spinoff? All right, the trench, if James Wan says so. We kind of thought it was going to be a little more horror, have more horror elements, or at least I did. And now we're hearing that that trench movie was really code for a Black Manta movie. It's a little sadder to lose that than just a trench movie. Although, as I talked about on SEN Live today, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is a fucking stud. He is now a full-blown movie star. When he filmed Aquaman, he was still at the place where they didn't mind putting him in a mask because he was not that famous. He was famous, but not that famous. Now, he's that guy. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, after Watchmen, after Candyman, he is the dude. And as the dude right now, I'm sure he has his pick of the litter of what projects he wants to work on. Maybe he's not into doing a trench movie right now, or maybe he was, and maybe James Wan has other things going on, or maybe Yahya and James Wan both wanted to do this, and the producers didn't want to do this because, head scratcher, not sure. Probably would have made them a lot of money. So I'm curious what actually happened here, but at least we're going to see Yahya Abdul-Mateen II in an Aquaman 2 and James Wan and Momoa. So, we've kind of got it going on. At least we've got that. See what else you guys are talking about in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. How are you feeling about these 2 DC pieces of news? Christian Hartsty coming in like the stud that he is. He says, hey, Roxy, without spoiling Eternals, how does the movie end? Just kidding. How are you today? So the way the movie ends is by me telling you how I'm doing today, which is fine. Thank you for asking, Christian Hardesty. Love that Streamlabs. Funny little joke. Good pre-2 p.m. joke. Never hurt anybody. Appreciate you. Send in that love and support. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. We're going fast. We're going loud. We're going proud. We're going in today. That's my thoughts on Brendan Fraser. That's my thoughts on canceled Trench and it actually being Black Manta movie. Let's talk a little bit about more movie news, including Dune 2. Timothy Chalamet, as Steph so aptly puts it, although I don't really call him that because I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, but he really looks like he's about 8 to me. In this movie at least, he looks very little boy-esque. Timothy Chalamet, I think, was the first one to announce this, but maybe it was announced elsewhere. Put Dune Part 2 on his socials. It might have come from Hollywood Reporter or somewhere else, but it is going to be in October 2023. We are getting a Dune Part 2. Interesting that they are not calling it Dune 2. Dune Part 2. Now, maybe this is about some of the backlash of the first Dune movie really being a Part 1 movie. And so maybe they're retroactively saying, look, Dune Part 2. So that means that first one was Part 1. Because it can't not be Part 1 if we're doing a Part 2, which I think is a little bit clever, but okay, I'll take it. 2 years. They got 2 years to knock this baby out. We know the script is not complete yet, but I would say that in Denny, we trust that this movie is going to be great. I saw that Zendaya immediately commented on Timothy Chalamet's Instagram and did all exclamation points, which was cool. She has not posted the news herself on hers, maybe on her story. Let's click through real quick. Oh, why is her story black to me? I can't see it. Hello. Sometimes my internet be trying to fuck me. I'm like, yo, internet, be chill, man. Be chill. Regardless, Dune Part 2. Oh, she just did it of somebody cheering with blue eyes. Oh, yeah, and then posted Timothy Chalamet's Dune Part 2 picture. Do you guys think 2 years is enough time to get this done? Do you think 2 years is too much time and people won't care anymore? Are you excited for Dune Part 2? What do you think about the fact that they're calling it Part 2 and not just Dune 2? Give me your thoughts. To me, this probably means that they are going to round out the first book, so that the first movie and the second movie will create the first book, and then after that, they'll probably have plans for the second book. So this is good news. We know that this is coming straight to theaters and won't be dropped on HBO Max unless, of course, there's another global pandemic or this pandemic lasts a lot longer, and then I'm sure they'll make up their own mind later on. So we will see. This movie's clearly doing well enough that they already were like, all right, let's fucking get going. This quick announcement bodes very well for the timeline on this movie, and I can't wait to see it. Can't come soon enough. 2 years is not that long. It's long, but it's not that long. Let me know your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. We've covered a lot in a short period of time so far. Yes, that includes Dune. It includes Firefly. It includes Trench. It includes a lot of things, but what it doesn't include so far is the Eternals. Let's get into this Eternals review. Get in your questions. I will answer any and all questions as best as I can without giving spoilers, but I want to hear from you guys what it is you're curious about because the reviews have been kind of all over the map. I'm here to tell you guys that I really liked this movie. I'm kind of surprised with how people are saying, this movie's not going to be for everybody. I can't really picture you guys going to see this movie and really disliking it. It might not be somebody's favorite Marvel movie because it's a little different in tone. You might think that the story is a little jam-packed because they have to throw a lot at us because there's so many characters. But to me, even if you think those things, it looks amazing and the characters are really enthralling. And so is the story. So I'm very invested in this movie. I was from start to finish. I really loved watching it. And I want to see more of these characters, which is a very large accomplishment that they made it so that every single main ensemble character I was into. And going into this, I didn't know shit about any of the Eternals. So now that I feel like I have a grasp on that they accomplished, me having a grasp on a little bit of their backstory, what their powers are, what their wants and desires are, what their morals are. I feel like I have a well-rounded view on each one of the main Eternals. And to do that in one movie is a big accomplishment. Let's go into the Streamlabs and see what your questions are on Eternals as I dive deeper into my review on this movie. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, hey, Dimpletits, how are you doing today? I'm doing okay. Thanks, Leonard. Glad to hear you enjoyed Eternals. While I didn't love Dune as expected, I'm glad we're getting a second Dune movie. Also, don't bury the lead. Katie and Blake are splitting. Whoa, the hair looks gorgeous. I can't believe that because it's not even enough time for them to keep the ring. If they want the Neil Lane diamond, then they got to stay together for at least, I think, 2 years. So this is a quick split. I think we all saw it coming. Her heart was broken after Greg. Obviously, I'm talking about Bachelorette right now, guys. But getting back into Eternals because I think Leonard Kim and I are the only ones who are as invested in Bachelorette franchise as we are. Get in your questions, comments, concerns. I'm not sure who my favorite character is after going to this movie, but what I can say is that I'm not usually a diehard Angelina Jolie fan. And in the war, I obviously am Team Jen through and through. That always upset me. It always made me mad at Brad, and it always made me upset with Angelina, and I was always Team Jen. However, it is undeniable how good she is in this movie. There's one shot that the Eternals are standing there, and they do a slow pan. Oops, kicking over my microphone. And they do a slow pan of a bunch of the Eternals, and it's just this slow, everybody kind of gets a second on camera. And we've got so many of them, and everybody's making a face or having a feeling, a reaction. And they're all great. Gemma is great. Brian is great. Richard Madden is great. Everybody is great. But when we get to Angelina, she's in a class of her own. She's just straight up in a class of her own. And her emotions, they read through so powerfully. And she is just so stunning to look at. She's timeless. She's ageless. She's incredible. Redford Reddington says, that's pretty petty. Yeah. Duh. Did I say it wasn't? I'm the biggest Friends fan of all time. So Jen is in my soul. It's very petty, extremely petty. But Angelina Jolie is phenomenal in this movie. She's also one of the best action stars of our time. I feel like Angelina Jolie, Emily Blunt. There's a few. Florence Pugh women who are action stars that it just feels so fucking natural on them. Just so natural. And I feel that way about Angelina Jolie. Gemma Chan is also phenomenal in this movie. She's really, really engaging. You immediately feel a connection to her. And I like what they did with her. I thought it was great. There's some, as predicted, there's a lot of love stories in this. This movie gets a lot sexier than Disney tends to. There's a couple of different moments, 3 in particular in this movie that I'm like, whoa, Disney? One of them, the first one that takes place, Dorina shouted out and said, finally, Disney. And then later on, another thing that took place, I was like, finally, Disney. So there were some big moments for Disney, some really stretching out of their comfort zones when it comes to sex and love and things like that. So I was excited about that. See what's going on in the super chat and then send in Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Ben Rayner says, how was Kit Harington from Game of Thrones? I feel like he's been missing from ads. Is there a reason? I would say that I think it's a fair question. Kit's good. He's always good. He's a talented actor. He is in a lot less of this movie than I thought he was going to be in. Kind of similar. I mean, we don't wait till the end or anything, but kind of similar to Zendaya and Dune, where I was just like, wow, she's really not in that much of the movie. I thought that Kit was going to be a larger part of this movie, and he is not as large of a part of the movie as a lot of the other main characters are. So I think that might be why he hasn't been seen as much. Good question. Would be happy to answer any more of your guys' questions like this. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Surprised Eternals is one of the most anticipated, biggest movies of the year. Surprised that none of you guys have questions on this. Tonally speaking, I saw some people, like my friend Jeff Williams, tweeted out that it was hilarious. I didn't find this to be one of the funnier Marvel movies. I think that there were funny moments. Camille is really funny. I think that he is excellent in this. And there was a lot of, wow, every character really had a whole different shtick, a different personality, a different level of self-awareness. Every character brought something new to the table. None of them are alike. None of them are the same. They all feel like full characters that if we were to do spin-off movies right now, I could picture it from every single main cast member, because they all were really well thought out. And I can't say that all the time in large ensemble cast movies. Let's go back into this Streamlabs, see what it is you guys are talking about in here. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Taking any and all questions about Eternals for the next 10 or so minutes. Leonard Kim says, the stunning visuals are the main draw for Eternals, but I'm incredibly intrigued by all of the powers that each of them possess. If you can disclose it, do we see a lot more of each of their powers and that epic sword Athena wields? I definitely can talk a little bit about this. I think that, yeah, I'm so with you that I was intrigued by all their powers. I think they did a really good job showing all of their powers. Now, would I be able to, if this was the SATs and the SATs were on the Eternals, would I be able to clarify exactly what each person's powers does? I don't think to a T, but I could give you a roundabout. Like, I feel very, very clear on what Gemma's character's powers are. I feel pretty clear on what Richard Madden's character's powers are. I feel the same way about a few of them. A few of them, I feel like, oh, okay, I totally get that. When it comes to Athena, they do something interesting in this where I don't want to share what it is, but because of that, Her powers are a little more tricky to fully understand. There is a good amount of fighting in this movie, though, and swords take place in the fight sequences in this film in a really cool way. The visuals on the fighting were great. Cinematography in this and the choreography and the fight choreography really effing work. So all of that was stellar for me. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Get in any of these questions. Appreciate you guys who are asking them. Dirt Hagen says, "Hey Roxy, looking amazing." Thanks, Kurt. Hope you're doing well. Was there a decent amount of action sequences in Eternals, and were they good? There were, and they were great. Every fight sequence, at one point, there was a longer fight sequence, and I felt like all of a sudden, I was like, because I forgot to breathe. I just completely forgot to breathe. And then I was like, wow, this fight sequence has been going on for a long time. The fights really work. You don't know what's going to happen. And because there are so many different powers on the table, there's just a ton of possibilities during these fight sequences. So it's not like normal fight sequences where it's two people going up against each other and you know their powers and you know how they interact. It's a ton of people with a ton of different stuff throwing in a bunch of different things. And it kind of, I can't believe how quickly I fell in love with these characters, because it almost felt like these were my new Avengers, because I was so invested in them and wanted to see all their different powers. And there was as many of them as, not as many, but a ton of them, like the Avengers. So it felt a little similar to that. When people say that this reminded them of a DC movie, I think that's more about tonally and visually than character-wise, but I'm not fully sure. It didn't remind me of a DC movie. To be honest, it reminded me more of like a Dune type movie with a little DC. Streamlabs in question, comments, concerns. Any thoughts about Eternals? I think I saw that this has like a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I would definitely put it higher. While it's not my favorite Marvel movie ever, this is for sure at least a solid B. There's just so many elements. There's so many beautiful, awesome elements to this that I just can't wrap my head around people ripping this movie apart. I just can't. Let's see what's going on right now on the Rotten Tomatoes. Eternals. Oh wow, I guess there's a movie called Eternal. I meant Eternals. There's a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I think that's a little too low for this. It's only 65 reviews coming through. Let's see what it is that some people have to say. Somebody who gave it a 2 out of 4, which is a rotten, coming from Slant Magazine, says, at once bloated and rushed, Eternal suffers from frequent lurches in tempo that dispel its occasional moments of tranquil thoughtfulness. I so did not feel that way. I did not feel like it was rushed. I didn't even feel like it was bloated. There was a lot, but it felt digestible. I didn't feel like the tempo was off either. I really didn't. Giving it a B from Entertainment Weekly, Leah Greenblatt, probably a Jew, that's why we like it, said Chloe Zhao's imprint is hard to miss in the movie's steady thrum of melancholy and its deeper, odder character arcs. There are a lot of deep character arcs. There are. And you question, like, how do I feel right now? What am I thinking on this? So, yeah, I'm, again, not saying it's the best Marvel movie that ever take place, but it's really good. It's really solid. New York Post, John Alexinski says, with Rotten, seriously, what a snooze. He gives it a 1 out of 4. Fresh off of winning Best Director Oscar for Nomadland, Chloe has upchucked one of the MCU's worst movies in ages. I don't know what the fuck he was watching. No part of this was boring to me. It really wasn't boring. It was beautiful and cool. Frank J. Avella from Awards Daily gave it a B- and said, thank the synagogues that Chloe Zhao was able to take all those innocuous prerequisites and create a film that is gorgeously photographed and focuses on the intimate moments between the characters, allowing them to breathe. I definitely agree with that. So people are really all over the place. It'll be interesting to see when more reviews come in, how it is that not only critics, but fans are going to be feeling about this. 72%, that's pretty low. Send in Streamlabs, questions, comments, concerns, anything from you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. We are going to be getting out of here relatively soon. So get in those questions. Y'all have none so far. What gives? This is a big one. Who's excited to go see it? In the chat, send bunnies if you are going to go see Eternals. By the way, shout out to everybody who's in here live. I didn't give my shout outs at the top of the show, and I want to Jake Yacovetta, Ivan Soto, Andrew W., Manny Gonzalez, Brittany Parker, Murderanta, Glenn Caesar, Aaron Hall, Redford Reddington, Ivan Soto, Curtis Mason, Thambone30, John Bainbridge, Mike Ordo, Silu Bonino, Steve Cauldron, Matt Munoz, Christian Hardesty, keep scrolling, George Pruitt, Nick Thomas, and everybody else joining live right now, Scott Welsh, John Perillo, Sonia Framath, CJR 1999, Garth McMurray. I just appreciate you guys being in here. Very much so. Okay, some bunnies coming through. But I would expect more bunnies. Seems like some of you guys are not that intrigued by this. Remember, I was talking to Jason Inman. I think he said that he wasn't even going to go see the movie, which I was surprised about. I don't know if he changed his mind, but maybe it's the marketing. I don't know. Maybe some people just are not into this one. It really worked for me. All right, let's move on. If you guys have more questions, get them in the super chat, get them in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, here for the next 10 minutes to answer your questions. I want to talk a little bit about something that I saw that was fucking highly disturbing on the internet. I talked about this briefly on SEN. Then I went down a rabbit hole afterwards and felt like I really, truly, no joke, felt fucking sick looking at this and was like, I have to talk to the rock stars because this isn't about this one person in particular. This is about society and where we are and how fucking tough. I don't know how to describe it better than that. That's how I felt. I really can't put words to it, but I'll share this with you guys momentarily. Before I do that, I think another Streamlabs rolling through, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's see what it is you guys are talking about in here. Glenn Caesar says, being unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers, whether it's on the internet or not, as well as being kind, caring, and funny, and fully unique, funny, makes you humane, worthy, and a cozy fire to be near. You're outstanding, a priceless treasure, and an inspiration. Thanks, Glenn Caesar. Appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words, my dear. This is what I saw that was like, what the flying fuck? There is a social media influencer whose father passed away, who posted on Instagram a slide with about 5 photos or so of her posing outside of her father's open casket. Here are 2 of the pictures. So behind her, she is at her father's funeral. This is what she is wearing to her father's funeral. These are the pictures she posted being at her father's funeral. And gosh, there's just so many fucking things to talk about here. I don't want to fucking slam this girl because she's already deleted her account and I think she got a lot of heat. It's not about her. It's about where we are right now in 2021. But this is what she posted. Jane wrote, butterfly, fly away, rip Poppy, you are my best friend, a life well lived, hashtag RIP, hashtag Poppy, hashtag veteran, hashtag PTSD, hashtag funeral, hashtag never forgotten. Looking at this, it's like when you zoom in, you can like see his hand, his body. It's just so fucking horrifying. I looked into her because she doesn't have an Instagram now. She has like 300,000 followers on TikTok. I think that this like random celebrity website says that she is a social media influencer. She's on OnlyFans, I think. She has, like I said, is a big TikToker. And this is what she posted. I'm going to take it down because it seriously is making me sick to look at for much longer. But I also looked into this. I think she's 20 years old. So many thoughts, rock stars, so many thoughts. Get in your thoughts in the Streamlabs and the super chat. But holy shit, my dudes. Like, where are we at and people were telling her how fucked up this was in the comments to the point where she went off social media and took this off or whatever it was. Where are we at in society when, like, number one, going to your father's funeral, you're picking out like an outfit like that. We're just like, I'm not set for my mom's funeral. Everybody's different, but for my mom's funeral, my sister and I really wanted to wear like matching outfits in solidarity. You hold on to the little things, and I totally get that. I also remember, as I told you guys, when my mom died, I posted it on Facebook. I didn't post her, but I posted a status saying that my mom had passed away because I didn't want to make all the phone calls to everybody. I didn't want to have to tell everybody. So I remember using social media as a tool as well. And people's love on there actually legitimately made me feel better. People commenting good memories of my mom or well wishes to me and my family or whatever it was. I remember I got serotonin from that. I felt like, okay, I matter. I'm seen. I'm not going to be alone. So I do think that there is a really big benefit from social media when somebody dies, especially when you're young and you feel fucking helpless. All that being said, how did she think she needed to dress up and like look perfect and have perfect makeup and perfect face and pose like that and take pictures in order to be liked or loved? Did she post them because she doesn't know anything else? Has she just been through 2 years of not being with anybody? Think about, like, if you were 18 years old and then you started being isolated from everybody. Now she's 20. Does she not have the tools in her tool shed to cope with this? It's just really fucking scary and upsetting, and I'm worried about our Gen Z and the gen below coming up, that they do not have the tools because of technology and because of the pandemic and because of the times, that they don't have the tools to cope with the things that they're going to have to be able to cope with. It's just fucking scary. So fucking scary. C. Lou in here said, when my dad died, I posted my favorite photo of the two of us, but nothing more. Totally. And like, I'm sure that might have brought you some relief or at least something. But this is a posed picture in front of an open casket. Oh gosh, I just feel so concerned, and like, this girl clearly needs help, and I don't mean that in a way like you need help, not to throw it in her face, in a way that we need to get this generation and all generations right now, we're all fucked up. We need to have resources and outlets for people so people don't think that the way to cope it, like, that what you have to do is put on a perfect face and hair and all of that and like put on big tall fucking heels and pose and then hashtag things like PTSD. It's just, this felt like way too fucking much. I don't know about you guys, but I was like, holy shit. This is just too much for me to fucking handle. It just felt like too much to fucking handle. Ugh. I don't know why I'm ending on this note, but I had to talk to you guys about it more. When we were talking about it at SEN, I feel sick. I felt sick about it. Streamlabs in your thoughts. We are getting out of here in the next minute or next couple minutes. Christian Harsty in the Streamlabs says, I have a weird feeling this movie is going to change the MCU forever. You don't have to respond to this in case it would spoil anything. Also, I saw a good question from Ivan Soto in the chat. Did it feel more like a superhero movie or a family movie? I felt like it felt like a superhero movie. There's family elements, but I felt like this was a full-blown superhero movie. And people were saying that it's going to change the MCU forever. I think every movie changes the MCU forever. But I didn't find the mid-credits and post-credit scenes to be as big of a deal as other people did. Maybe that means I just get it less. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stragland, Caesar says, may you find your never-ending fountain of happiness and joy and get to drink from it whenever, wherever you can. I hope you remember to say to yourself, I'm kind, I'm caring, I'm fully unique, I'm worthy, my story is important and deserves to be seen and heard. I love that. Glenn, you are the best. Hitman Hudson in the Streamlabs. Hi, Hitman Hudson says, new Wheel of Time trailer drops tomorrow. Very excited. Wheel of Time. It's going to be a show, right? That's what they're doing with it. Did I make that up? I think it's going to be a series, right? New trailer dropping tomorrow. I can't see anything, but I think that they're doing it that way. Did I make it up? Somebody let me know. All right, y'all, we are getting out of here. So much love to all of you guys. Thank you for your Streamlabs, for your super chats. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for talking to me about all things today. Appreciate all of your guys' support and love. Shout out to everyone in here. Glenn Caesar, Andrew W., Christian Harsey, Manny, Brittany, Silu, Aaron, Zadius, Joseph, Matt, Garth, Murderanta, Robert, Redford. That's funny that I read Robert and Redford next to each other. Thambone. And all of the people. Scott, y'all are the fucking shit. Make your bed. Stay safe. Stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and lid. Check your internet. You can do so by blowing on it. Don't trend with the Holocaust. Brett Miles, Jonathan, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Can't wait till I can do a spoiler review of Eternals with you guys, but not today, devil. Talk to you guys soon. Be back live. If you guys are a patron for the Whirl Girls, patreon.com/the Whirl Girls, we are doing a live show tonight, hanging out with our Whirl friends for I think that's our $10 up tier, something like that. You can check it out on our Patreon. So we're going to be talking Halloween and eating candy and getting stoned and shit. That will be fun. And then tomorrow I will be here live at the Roxy, and tomorrow night, Whirl Girl Wednesday, we are going to be doing Halloween Horror Nights and premiering that episode, which is great. So Glenn says must not have gone through. What didn't go through? Let me check. Glenn, did you send something? Must not have gone through. Let me refresh. I hope you each continue breathing in golden sparkles, bring in love, and blow out yucky stress energy with every inhale and exhale to break apart, remove all types of energetic blockages, to attain balance, and get to experience happiness and joy every day. That's what I got. Loving is what I got. Thanks, Glenn, for having me do that. Always hope that I give you guys the shout outs. Keep breathing, my friends, as Glenn says. Much love, and I'll see you later.